The United Nations Children Fund says that more than 20 million children a year have missed out on measles vaccines across the world in the past 8 years. UNICEF warns this could lead to more exposure to a virus that has caused disease outbreaks globally. In the first 3 months of 2019, more than 110,000 measles cases were reported worldwide. That's nearly 3 times the amount in the same period last year. Meanwhile, in the whole of 2017, over 100,000 people, most of them children, died from measles. Now, that figure was a 22% increase compared to the previous year. NBC News' Anne Thompson has this report on the effects of unvaccinated children in the US.
Measles, the most contagious disease in the world, spreading in hotspots around the country. This week, new cases in California, New York, and New Jersey.
One of the things that the anti-vaccine movement has been doing is portraying measles as a benign illness or nothing more than a rash. And nothing could be more further from the truth.
Ariel Loop knows that all too well. 4 years after her son Mobius got the measles as an infant, too young to be vaccinated, doctors told her to be on the lookout for any signs of SSPE, a deadly nervous system disorder.
Being scared for years that your kid is going to die out of nowhere is terrifying.
SSPE is a rare but long-term complication of the measles virus, mostly affecting those who get the disease in the first year of life.
The way it manifests is sharp declines in behavior and cognitive function, eventually seizures, complete loss of motor functions. It's practically 100% fatal.
It can show up a decade after the measles disappear. There are other issues too, potential hearing loss and recent evidence showing the measles suppresses a patient's immune system for up to 3 years. The concern spreading after 2 California universities each had someone with measles on campus. Now fears unvaccinated students could be at risk.
Well, that's the view from the US. Here to talk us through the view from here in Europe is Alistair Sanford in the studio. Morning to you, Alistair.
Morning, Belle.
How does Europe compare with the rest of the world? How's it doing in vaccinating its children?
Not really any better than the rest of the world in terms of the number of vaccinations, as highlighted in this this UNICEF report, or rather the children going unvaccinated. Europe features 4 times in the world's top 10 countries. France, the UK, Italy and Germany. And in France and the UK, both of those countries have seen more than 500,000 people, children going unvaccinated, not receiving their first dose of the vaccine between 2010 and 2017. In fact, only 4 EU or European Economic Area countries achieved the target of 95% vaccination coverage, and those were Hungary, Portugal, Slovakia and Sweden. Now, we've seen just how devastating the disease can be, potentially fatal in children. The goal was to eradicate measles in first world countries by 2020, but instead we're also seeing this increase in the number of cases. In Europe, well, the worst is Ukraine. In fact, globally it's the worst, literally tens of thousands of cases of measles now, and some 11 deaths this year. Other countries in Europe, well, the figures are lower, but they're still many times more than they were just a few months ago. There's countries such as France, Poland, the Czech Republic, Belgium, Bulgaria and Ireland. They've been highlighted in a recent study by the European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control. What's being blamed for all this? Well, misinformation, of course. Social media being blamed, although some of this goes back, more than 10 years, so before really the social media took off, but particularly concerning the MMR vaccine. Also, populist anti-establishment parties are blamed for spreading this misinformation about the vaccines, including the 2 coalition partners in the Italian government. Celebrities and well-known figures in America, we've got some figures in Donald Trump's circle have been blamed for this. In fact, US health researchers also thought that Russian social media trolls were playing an active role in trying to spread misinformation just to create social discord. So all this has led to various calls, and notably today from the chief of the health service in England, for Facebook and Twitter to combat anti-vaccine propaganda and conspiracy theories.